Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Okay, Saturday edition, and we are going to be talking about study tips. If you are getting prepared to take the CCS, Ccs-P, Cc-A, or Cpc medical coding exam, this episode is for you. But first, please like and subscribe, follow me. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I did go on the websites, the direct websites for both associations, and I will have to tell you guys, I am a AHIMA member. I belong to the American Health Information Management Association. However, I like to think that I am the most informed non-member of AAPC ever. I do not even hold a credential through them. I have been to their website so many times this week in preparation for this video and for a couple of the other videos that I've had because I just recently started talking about the AAPC HealthCon 2020. They are having it in Florida this year. It is the big conference. Ours with AHIMA will be in October. But if you're interested in attending, you can get a boatload of continuing education units while you are there learning and in a very fun place in Orlando, Florida. It is going on from April the 5th through the 8th. Please check the website for more information, and that will be the plug that for that conference. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. So if you are preparing for the CCS or Ccs-P and you happen to be taking your credential exam after May 1st, I need to let you guys know with AHIMA, CCS and Ccs-P on May 1st, it goes into beta mode. So if you don't know what beta mode is for their exams, they have to wait until a certain number of people have taken the test before they can release the scoring. So it can take up to 24 weeks or 6 months to get your results from your test. If you're taking your test after May 1st, the CCS or Ccs-P, I'm just letting you guys know it may be a little bit longer before you get your results back from your test. Just saying, okay? And with to prepare for the CCS and Ccs-P and Cc-A, they have all of the available resources for studying on the AHIMA website at ahima.org, AHIMA.org. I will be leaving the links for both associations down in the description box below. But they have specifically for each certification exam, they have it broken down the recommended study guides. And they also have practice exam books. They have some on the website, but they also have some, like if you go to eBay or Amazon, or if you go to Barnes & Noble or any other bookstore, you can look for those practice exam books, okay? They're very helpful. Of course, we don't know what is on the exam, but these will help you to prepare and study. These exams with AHIMA are only 4 hours. With AAPC, you get a little bit longer. I believe it's 5.5 hours. But be sure to check and make sure when you are studying, okay, and this is for any medical coding credential, okay, always look to see how long you are going to have for this exam. Then you can do practice mock exams on your own and use that set time. Like if you're taking an AHIMA exam, go with 4 hours. Block off that time. Make it like you were studying for that exam, or make it like you were sitting for that exam, okay? You want to make sure that you get yourself as familiar with the setup as possible. And the only way to do that is to block off time. Do not have your phone out. Do not be distracted. Make it like that is you're sitting for an exam. So that way you can sort of work through those feelings of nervousness, okay? Even though we've talked about this on other episodes, make sure that you reframe your thinking from nervousness to excitement. You are excited because this is a positive change in your life when you pass your certification exam. You've been through the program, whether you're sitting for AHIMA or AAPC, you've been through the program, you know what you're doing. Now it's just time to shine. My tips for studying, for getting through the scenarios much more quickly, much like my work tips, which is start with the end result. What is in the assessment and plan? What are the questions? When you are reading through a book and you know how it gives you the review questions at the end of the chapter and then you're supposed to answer the questions? When you do that, start with the questions first. Read the questions first, then read the book. This way, you know what questions they are asking you or what answers are they looking for. As you go back through in your reading, you'll have those questions in your mind, and that way when you finally get to the end of that section, you know what to look for, okay? You know that those questions have already been planted in your mind. Same thing when you're taking your exam. Read the question, read thoroughly the question, and find out what it is that they're looking for. Think about all of your knowledge up to this point, and don't second guess yourself. Whatever you do, no matter what credential you're sitting for, don't second guess yourself. The first answer that comes to your mind is the first answer that you should put down, okay? The second you start second guessing yourself, you are going to be wasting precious minutes, okay? So I'm just saying, this video is a little bit of how to study and when you are taking your exam, okay? But yes, when you are trying to get through a record very quickly, go to the assessment and plan, find out what it is that they're doing, because that way you know when you start from the bottom and you work your way back to the top, you know what the end result of that encounter was, what the visit was, or what the surgery, the outcome of the surgery. You'll know because you went to the end, you read it first, and then you went back and started working your way to the end. It's a very good way. It's not the standard way, because what is the standard way? The standard way is that we are taught to read from top to bottom. And I'm telling you guys to do the opposite. Go from the bottom, start from the bottom, and then go to the top. It's just going to be a lot better when you know what was the end result. I do this a lot at work, which is why I'm able to get through a lot of encounters. I don't start off with the HPI. I always start with the assessment and plan. Tell me what happened in this visit, and the assessment and plan is going to be able to tell you. I will know, based on what they have documented in the assessment and plan, how detailed, how deep this encounter was. How much points are they going to need for a review of systems and a physical exam and the history? How many are they going to need, and how detailed is this supposed to be? And then I can go back and then look at all of those things. It doesn't make sense to start at the top and work your way down, because yes, while you're getting the history and you're looking at all the review of systems and your physical exam, it doesn't matter by the time you get to the assessment and plan, because you've already forgotten all of that. And it's just like, okay, then what the heck are they doing here? You know, at least this way, you know what the end result was. Okay? That's just a little tip on that one. So with my research with AAPC, I found on the website that there are classes, exam review classes that are available in person. Okay, if you're going to sit for the CPC exam, you have to check online for availability. It will have you put in like your location, and like if you are in Michigan or in Florida or in Texas, they'll have you put in your location, and it'll give a listing of all of the available classes that are available for in-person exam prep. Okay, these are generally like 3 to 8 hours in length for one day. They're offered by local AAPC chapters and AAPC instructors. Okay, so just so you know that these are people that can instruct people. And there was a quote on the AAPC website. It says, As the curriculum is not often produced by AAPC, the quality of the review class varies from instructor to instructor. So this is what I say every time. The caliber of every single coder is different. And yes, there is almost certainly no way to find out what the caliber of your instructor will be. However, this is something to be aware of. The pricing for the in-person exam review, I noticed it was different from place to place. Some, I looked in my area and there was some that were for $5. There was some that were $50. There was some that was only $25. There was another one that was $60. So it's going to depend on, I guess, what the curriculum they're offering and how detailed they are, how quick this class is. I mean, there's just a myriad of factors that go into what their charge is going to be, but they're charging whatever they want to, okay? So that's just something to look into if you want to have like a hands-on, just a prep before you take your CPC exam that is available with AHIMA. If you're taking an AHIMA credential exam, they do have webinars that are available. And you can look on ahima.org for those, for more detail on that. I know I keep saying to look on the website, but you guys, this is part of being a medical coder, is learning to do research on your own. And yes, sometimes it is confusing. There's a lot, and we don't know exactly where to find stuff a lot of times. But the basic, fundamental foundation of where you're going to find anything about medical coding is going to be on one of the association websites, either ahima.org or aapc.com. That's where you can start. And if you don't know, you can always call the customer service hotline. That's why they're there to help you. I don't mind answering questions. You guys know this. I've answered questions. I answer questions every single day. I don't mind. But it's important to learn how to start doing research on your own. And I have said many times that I'm not an AAPC member. I still get a lot of AAPC questions. I don't anticipate that stopping anytime soon because it is confusing in the beginning. But make sure that you are going to the website. If you are going through AAPC, great. I don't have any qualms about people going through AAPC or AHIMA. I personally don't care. What I do care about is this. I care about the caliber of the coder. How much are you pushing yourself to learn? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to studying for exams, you have to have an investment of time in it. You have to be doing your flashcards. You have to be reading. That is part of it. That is a huge part of what we do every single day is read. So reading, flashcards, going through and getting the practice exam books is very important. If you are sitting for any medical coding credential exam, obviously get that practice exam book, but you can also get other ones as well. If you're wanting to take the CPC exam, but you only have access to a Ccs-P book, study with that too. I mean, why you would have one over, I don't know. But I'm just saying, just get your hands on whatever you can, okay? And these practice exam books are very, very helpful. They're very instrumental, but use them like they are designed. They are a practice exam book. Get yourself in a setting where you can be comfortable for 4 hours or 5.5 hours and do this practice exam. Read the recommended resources for studying that they have listed on the websites. Both websites have like resources that you can go to for studying, okay? Know your laws, know your medical laws, and know your ethics. That's really huge. And some of these is just going to be just reading, okay? But again, make time to study and really invest in what you're doing. Invest in yourself and invest time in what you're doing, because it is just temporary. This time that you are using to study is just temporary. I've gotten a few emails from some parents. They say, well, Blue, I don't really want to do this because of my kids. Okay, well, if you don't want to do it because of your kids, fine. You know what I mean? But you obviously looked into it because you were interested in getting into it. And yes, at the moment, it seems like a lot. It's a lot of studying and it's time away from your kids. I get it. But it's just temporary. Once you get out of that and you take your certification exam and you pass and you're in the world of medical coding, you can spend all the time with your kids that you want to spend. If it really does bother you that you want to do this, but you don't want to spend time away from your kids, set aside time for yourself to study. And it doesn't have to be an exorbitant amount of hours. Just set aside time for yourself to study because you deserve it. You are worth it. And yes, it is okay to do that. That way you have time with your family, with your kids, your spouse, whatever. You have time to do all this other stuff. It doesn't have to, learning medical coding and studying medical coding doesn't mean it has to limit your social life. It doesn't mean you have to limit your family time. It does not mean this, okay? And this is the thing that I can't ever, it doesn't register to me because there was a lot of parents, a lot of single moms that were in the school at the same time I was, and they were right there applying themselves and doing these things. And yes, after a while, when you are out in the real world and you've been a medical coder for a while, sure, then you want to transfer over into being a remote coder, then that's something different. Of course you can do that once you've had experience. But I'm just letting you guys know that if you're looking to get into this because you want to start remote coding right away, we've had this discussion, it's very, very slim to none that this is going to happen because I have never seen a remote medical company that would allow brand new coders with no experience to have a job with them right away. I'm just saying. But getting back to the topic at hand, studying is very important, but make sure that you're giving yourself the appropriate amount of breaks as well. You don't want to spend too much time where you're going to burn yourself out. And whatever you do before you go take your exam, the big day, do not cram. Whatever you do, don't cram. All you're going to do is make yourself nuts before you go in. And for what? You've already studied, you've already learned everything that you're going to learn, okay? There's nothing more that you're going to learn within the day before your exam. So my advice is to take the day off before you go sit for your exam. Don't study because you're already going to know everything that you know, okay? Go with your first answer, your gut instinct, okay? Use your flashcards while you are studying. And I'm going to keep saying it. And you're going to get tired of me saying it. But that's okay. You're going to be thanking me later. Because using those flashcards, I'm telling you guys, when you write them out yourself, it is the best thing for you. It is your best friend, okay? When you are looking for little bites of information to keep in your memory. Flashcards are the key. Okay, so that is pretty much what I wanted to discuss today on today's episode. Yes. Yeah, that was it. That was it on my little notes here. But yes, being a medical coder is an exciting thing. I wouldn't change my career field for anything. I love what I do. If you're new to my channel, I have many videos where I talk about my love for this profession. And yes, I am a CCA. I am working on things in the back, so I'm not talking about it right now on my channel because that's the way that I do things. I have to have a Chinese wall and certain things, but it will come out in time, so never fear. But you guys just make sure you keep studying, watch these videos. If you find when you take your practice exam, one more thing before I wrap it up. If you find when you take your practice exam that you are struggling in a certain area, concentrate on that area. Make sure that you're reviewing that area more than anything else. because if you're not grasping something, there's a reason. And you may have to look for different approaches to understand how, why, when, where, and just do that so that way it will only benefit you. Don't shy away from things that you don't understand, okay? But don't be so closed off that you can't absorb anything new, if that makes sense, okay? But that's my advice on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, but I hope that this helps you out. If you get a chance, look back through my videos, hit the little eyeglass thingy and put in there exam prep tips or study tips or whatever part of the journey that you're on. I have many videos. I have 200 plus videos out there. And so I'm very dedicated to sharing all of the information that I have about medical coding. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. I will see y'all on the next episode. Bye.